Alright, hi 7th grade. We are going to start with statistics. We're going to kind of go into the basics of statistics, then we're going to kind of add on to it. Most of what I'm going to go over today is review for most of you probably, unless you did not get to it last year, which, since this is my first year with you all, I am not sure what you guys exactly got to in statistics. So, we're going to do the background. We would have done this in school anyway, so this is completely fine. We're going to look over the basics of stats so that we can start getting into the 7th grade material, which all of this also goes along with. Statistics is nice because it's all along the same idea. There's not like all these different rules for everything. Everything typically follows the same process. And if you look under goal number 3, most of that helps you with everything else. And to get that, the other two goals help you get there. So, the goals of this lesson is to make a dot plot, make a box and whisker plot. So we're going to have two different plots that represent the data in different ways. We're going to find outliers, so numbers that don't belong, the mean, which is the average, the median, which is the middle number, the mode, the number that occurs the most, and the range, so the differing in values. So you take your biggest number and you subtract to get your smallest to get the how many values am I covering here. Now, before this, you should have all seen I uploaded a document, a PDF document of your key terms. Okay? These are all on there, so if you don't know where they are, you can either copy these down, you can print them off, you can rewrite them. You don't need to. You just need to have this somewhere where you can refer to when you need to. So this is a summary of what they all are. This is kind of our vocab we're going to do. I did it for you. And how to find them all. And at the bottom, once you finish this video, you are going to answer these questions and make your own plots, except the box and whisker, below. And you're going to bring this to our Zoom meeting on Tuesday. So this should all be done before you come to our meeting on Tuesday. We will go over more of this after we finish with our mini lesson here. Alright, so your goals. To make a dot plot. You should have watched a video on this before you're watching this video. You're going to make a box and whisker plot. There was not a video on this. I don't want too many videos for you guys, so we'll go over that one. Pretty simple. And then we're going to find outliers, the mean, the median, the mode, and the range of a data set. So, let's get started. You all came up with a data question. We're going to use those on our Zoom meeting on Tuesday we meet. For today, I have come up with a question for you guys. So your question we are going to use is the day of birth. And I already have some random data for you guys. So, day of birth would be a statistical question, which would mean the day of the month that someone was born. And that would be a number answer they would give you, and you would get all this random data, and that's what we would get. What I want you guys to do is I want you to copy down these data points here. Pause the video. Make sure you get all these copied down. There is 20, so at the end you should total up 20. Make sure you're counting and getting 20 in yours. I've counted mine a couple times and I've made sure that we get 20 there. So take a second, pause the video, write the numbers down on your own scrap paper. Alright, so you should have these copied down. If you don't, pause the video, make sure you get those copied down, just so we're not waiting with silence a lot. Then, to do any of this, you got to put them in order from least to greatest. So, you're going to pause the video again, and you're going to start putting these in order from least to greatest. To do that, an easy way is to, once you do it, put a slash through it. So my first number, I would say 3 is my lowest number. I'd write 3 down, I would slash it. Then I would go, okay, any more 3s? No more 3s here? Then I would go to 4s. Okay, I see a 4. Slash it, write a 4 down. Go ahead and put them all in order from least to greatest. Put them as neat as you can until all the numbers are gone. Once you have them from least to greatest, count up and make sure your total is still 20 so you do not miss any. Go ahead, pause the video again. Put them in order from least to greatest. Alright, at this point you should have them in order from least to greatest. I have mine in order here. 3, 4, 6, 7, 7, 7, 7, 9, 9, 9, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 19, 23, 23, 27, 30. In order, there are 20 numbers here. Now, I can do anything from this. This is my key thing right here. You don't want to scribble over these and have to restart them again. This is your new data set that you are going to work with. So you're always going to have random data, then you organize it. And this is how we're going to organize least to greatest all the time. Alright, our first goal, making a dot plot. We are going to work on that goal right now. To make a dot plot, you need don't need a straight edge. You need a pencil and you need to make a line across your paper. Leave some room above because it looks like we have multiples of some of our numbers, so put a straight line across. Okay. You're going to start with your lowest value. My lowest value I have is 3, so my first line I would put a 3. You are going to count up all the way until you get to your highest value of 30. If I don't have a number somewhere, so I don't have a 5, you still need to write a 5 on your line. So I'll do this with you. If I go too fast, pause it, catch up, okay? Our next one I see a 4, then it will go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, keep going. You're going to go all the way until you get to 30 because that is our highest number. Mine barely fits. Hopefully yours fit if we write neatly. If not, redo it real quick. It's okay. Just write them really small. It's okay if they're bunched together. There's a wide variety of numbers here. To make a dot plot, you have watched a video on this. You are going to go through each one and you are either going to put a dot, or I usually put X's because it's easier to see that there is clearly an X. So in my set I have 1, 3. So above a 3 I would put 1 X. Now this is way easier to do it this way now that they're in order than look at a random data set. Okay? You don't have to have them in order, but it makes everything way easier. Okay? 1, 4. X on the 4. I have 1, 6 on the 6. My 5 is empty. There are no 5s. For my 7, I have 4 7s here. That means above 7, I'm going to put 4 X's straight up. This shows that I have more 7s than I do 3s, 4s, and 6s. You're going to keep going. So I have 9s. I have 3 9s. 1, 2, 3. If you notice, my X's are similar sizes. They are not perfect, but I don't have some tiny, some huge. It shows where the numbers actually are. I'm going to have a big gap until 14. I have a 15, I have a 17, I have 18, I have 2 19s, I have 2 23s, I have a 27, and I have a 30. To make sure you have all your datas, I would go ahead and count your X's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I have 20 here. This plot right here shows you where your numbers are. It shows that most people have younger birthdays or lower birthday numbers. It shows that in this area there are a high amount. This actually will show you where your mode is. Your mode is the number that appears the most. Whatever number has the most X's would be your mode. So that's why we're doing all these first, and then we're going to get our other values after because we're already doing most of the work. Okay, so this is a dot plot. Make sure we're labeling titles for all of our graphs. Maybe if you guys can see it. There we go. There's our dot plot. So we have accomplished goal number 1. Goal number 2, make a box and whisker plot. A box and whisker plot is taking your values and clumping them into different sections. To do this, you're going to have to find the median. So the median is the middle. Your box and whisker plot has different things that will start it. Box and whisker plots. Maybe when I show you an example, it'll jog your memory. Box and whisker plots usually look something like this. Okay, this would be your max. This would be your minimum. This would be your median. Now, these two lines up here are your median between your minimum and your median. So this would be your first quartile. I'll put a Q. This would be your third quartile, because this is also your second quartile. So we're breaking our data set up into 4 sections. Section 1, Section 2, Section 3, and Section 4. So we're pretty much chunking this into what are 4 equal sections. Each section will have the same amount of numbers as the other one. So to do this, you're going to have to find the median. A great way to do this is to either rewrite your numbers. I'm going to use the ones I already wrote because I'm not going to cross them off where I can't read them. Don't scribble them out, just put a slash through them. We know our minimum is our lowest value, which our minimum here is 3. We know our maximum is our biggest value. Our biggest value we have is 30 because there is something on the 30. If I didn't have a 30, my maximum would be a 27. To find your median, this is where you start crossing off from the outsides and go in. If I'm trying to find a median, let me get a different color real quick so you guys can see. Hopefully you can see the difference in these colors. Alright, if I'm finding a median, if I cross off one here, I need to cross one off right here. So one cross, one cross. One cross on your left, one cross on your right. One on your left, one on your right. So you're slowly inching your way to the middle until you either get 2 or 1 value, and that would be your median. So go ahead, pause the video, find your median. Alright, hopefully you found your median. If you did not, we're going to keep going together. Cross one, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right. You are stuck with 2 numbers. This is where it gets a little trickier when you have 2 numbers to find your median. Our median, it says, is 9 and 14. Okay, now I have 2 medians. We need to find what's the middle between them. If you ever have 2 numbers, you should know this, but if you don't, you have to add them up. So you have to add 9 plus 14, and then you would divide them in half to find what is the average between 9 and 14. When you add 9 and 14, you would get 23 divided by 2. Okay? And when you do 23 divided by 2, you would get 11.5 is your new median. So your median would be 11.5. Now, both of these would determine which quartile they would go in. So you then need to cross off again from your different quartiles. So from 9 to 3, you need to find what's the middle point between 9 and 3 to find quartile 1. Quartile 1 is between, cross off 3, cross off your 9. I'm doing it above so we can see that it's an extra number. I'm using this 9 because it's part of that far set. Go left, right, left, right, left, right. You're going with 2 numbers, but they are the same, so it does not matter. Quartile 1 would be a 7. And you do the same to find quartile 3. Go ahead and find quartile 3. Hopefully you found it. If you did not, you cross from 14 to 30. Cross it off, find your middle number. And this one, yeah, like again, it's 19 and 19. That's the same, so that would be your quartile 3. Now you have all your values to make your box and whisker plot. You start with your minimum. It's a dot. The minimum is 3. My first quartile is where the box is going to start. My first quartile is 7. Goes all the way to your median. Your median is your middle number. Your middle number is a 9. You go to quartile 3. Quartile 3 is a 19. And this clears up. And it goes all the way over to your maximum, which your maximum is 30. Okay? So this is a messy box and whisker plot. You are taking your values and you're kind of clumping them together. The box and whisker plot is something that's probably new for most of you. If it's still confusing, there's plenty of videos. We will work more on it when we're on Zoom too. I don't want to waste your whole time going over different aspects. Sometimes they're drawn different too, so we're going to actually see how they're all drawn. But these are the numbers you would get to make your box and whisker plot. Okay? And our last part, we need to find the mean. We need to find the median. we need to find our mode, we need to find a range, and we're going to look at any outliers. So let's start with our first one, your mean. Okay, for your mean, it's going to be helpful to have your dot plot for all of these. Your mean is the number that is your average. To find an average, you have to add everything up and then divide by how many you have. If you don't have a calculator on hand, you can use your phone. That works completely fine. What you are going to do is go to get your calculator. You're going to add up all of your data sets. So all of these numbers, you're going to add them all up. So 3 plus 4 plus 6 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7. Keep going until you get them all. If you need to pause, go ahead. When I add them up, I get 273. Now, you should always check that again, so I'm going to have you pause the video, add them up one more time. When I add them up again, I got the exact same number. If you got something different the second time, that's when you would go again and see you have to match it, so you know that it's the same. Now, we already have our total. Our total was 20. You take your total and you divide by your number of data points. We had 20, so then you already have your calculator in front of you. You would do 273 divided by 20. You should get 13.65. That is okay if it is a decimal for your mean. Okay? That's the average day that would occur. Now, if I look, I do not have any 13s. That's okay, but if I look, that is kind of where my average would be. To find your median, we've actually already found that. It's right up here. Remember, it was between 9 and 14, so we said it was 11.5. If you forgot how we found that, we start at the left and the right, and we cross off until we get to the middle. If you have two numbers in the middle, you're then going to find the mean of those numbers, the average. So you add 9 and 14, and there's two set data points there, so you would divide by 2. Okay? Your mode, this is where your dot plot comes in handy. Whatever number has the most x's. So if you look, the mode is 7. That occurs 4 times. It's more than anything else. If 9 also had 4, my mode would be 7 and 9. You can have more than one mode. Your range, you take your largest value minus your smallest value. My biggest value is 30, minus my smallest is 3, and my range would be 27. That means there's a total of 27 options that the answer could be. Sorry, you probably couldn't see that. For outliers, that is any number that seems to not appear that it fits in any trend. So if there's a number that's way out here that doesn't really fit, then that would be an outlier. I would say if 27 wasn't here, then 30 would probably be an outlier. But it looks like the numbers kind of go in this sequence. We know that you could have a day between 3 and 30 for a birthday. So for outliers, we would say none. Okay? When we start looking at more of this, we're going to start looking at the variability and all that other stuff, but we need to master these things first. What I'm going to have you guys do now that we completed this mini lesson, and don't want to take up too much of your time, I'm going to end this video in a second. What you are going to do before we meet on Tuesday morning is, if you look at the bottom of this Statistics Grade 7 PDF that's on your Google Classroom where you found this video, you're going to look at the bottom. It says problems to do. You have data, you're going to make a dot plot, you're going to find the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. If you want to try and make a box and whisker plot, you are more than welcome to, but you do not need to. Please bring this done, page that's done with you, and your worksheets in your packet. Bring those on Tuesday morning so we can go over them. If you have any questions, let me know. If you don't have a printer, you can always just write the data points out, find the mean, median, mode, range, and make your own dot plot. It is perfectly okay to not print this. It's probably better if you don't and you just write it on your own. I just wanted to have it in a document in case that is your way that you prefer. Alright, see you guys on Tuesday.